What's up, everybody? It's your boy D Max. So we'll go ahead and jump in on this topic real quick and jump right back out. I just wanted to talk about this real quick because it's something that has been a hot button issue here lately. We recently had a brother from the Hebrew Israelite group to hold some people hostage in a mosque, and this is, one of a few attacks that we've seen here recently by my dear brothers. And I definitely wanted to reach out and just speak to my brothers, man, and just say that, we have extremists in every single belief system. So that first and foremost, this is not a representation of all Hebrew Israelites. Not all Hebrew Israelites condone the actions of that brother. You have some that do, but for the most part, a lot of these brothers are just seeking knowledge and truth, just like everybody else. So, I wanted to put that out there. I got a lot of homies that are Hebrew Israelites, and they are some stand up, solid dudes. And they just want to see the best for their people. But I for a long time, I studied the Hebrew Israelite beliefs. I got back into Judaism and the whole spiel, back in the day. This is like in the early 2000s. And, you know, I appreciate some of the things that and the information that these brothers have, but there's some things that I don't agree with, and that's why I decided not to partake in that organization like that. So I do have, like I said, I have much respect for the knowledge and the information that these brothers have, but we just don't share a lot of the same views on things. And for that reason, I just love them from a distance like I do everybody else. But I wanted to talk about the whole genealogy thing because this is becoming a hot button issue as well, and it's getting a lot of people in trouble. If you remember back a few what last year when Nick Cannon got in trouble and they shut down Wilding Out and all of that because he was talking about who the true Jews were. And he was saying that the African American are the true Jews, and that the ones that's over there in Jerusalem are the fake Jews or the Ashkenazis. And we know this information, but if anybody speaks like that, that anti-Semitism label gets slapped on you and you get instantly shut down. I don't know why it's a cardinal sin to speak against Jewish people more than it is any other culture, but that seems to be the case. And if anybody says anything about the Jews not being the Jews, then it's you're done with. There's no toleration, it's zero tolerance policy on that pretty much. But I want to talk about this whole identity thing because what it really comes down to is this, man. I remember a scripture that says, and this was in Revelations, and he was talking about who the true Jews are. He says there's going to be some people in the land and they're going to be imposters and they're not going to be the true Jews. And this is something that a lot of those brothers love to cling on to, and this supports a lot of their main far as them saying that the people who are occupying the land right now are not the true Jews. I get that. But at the same time, you got to continue to read. And if you continue to read, you see where he says, but really and true, and I'm paraphrasing when I say this, but this is a translation of what he's saying. So why are you talking about being a Jew and you worried about your genealogy and your bloodline and all of that? Are you really a Jew in your heart? Are you really circumcised in your heart? Are you really doing the things that Jesus would follow and adhere to in your heart? Because if you're not doing none of those things, then you're not no true Jew anyway, because it's all about the heart and your intent more than it is an outward showing and some type of label to put on yourself to exalt your group above everybody else. That's what it's really about. So really and truly, even if the did come out, say the sky rolled back and we had an archangel to come down and be like, this group of people right here are the hidden tribes of Judah, are the lost tribes of Judah. So what? What then? Are you going to start practicing Judaism? Are you going to start practicing the belief system and adhering to it strictly and the way that it's supposed to? Absolutely not. Because you can't even practice the things, the laws of the land that we live in right now. So I guarantee you, you're not going to line up with the laws and the instructions of Yahweh. I, so really what I'm saying is, what does it matter whether you find out if you're one of the lost tribes? What are you going to do different? How are you going to act different? How are you going to, is that going to cause you to carry? Because really and truly, you should carry yourself in a mannerable and a respectable way, regardless of what your identity is by other people. So if it takes you having a validation of from somebody else who your identity is for you to be able to stand up like a man or a woman and carry yourself in a way that's respectable to you and everybody else, then that just lets you know how much value is in that label or that title. And that's what Jesus or Yeshua was trying to get people to understand when he said that. And it may have been quoted through Paul. I'm not sure, but I know that the scripture is definitely there, and that's exactly what it means. If you need me to look it for you, look it up for you, and bring it back to you, I can. But that's what the scripture says. So while you're fighting over genealogy and lineage and all of those things like that, what does it really matter if? What does it matter if you're not a Hebrew in your heart? And uh I don't see a lot of the teachings in the hearts of the Hebrew Israelite brothers. I see a lot of anger, I see a lot of aggression, I see a lot of exclusivity, I see a whole lot of downing other people, you know what I'm saying? I see a lot of negative energy coming from my brothers. I'm just be real about it. You know, you can jump on here and talk to me if you really want to. No problem. I have no problem putting the thing in there so you can get on, the link in there so you can get on. But I'm just gonna say what it is because that's the type of energy that I always see coming from my Hebrew Israelite brothers is aggressive energy. And that's not the type of energy that's gonna, being aggressive is not a sign of strength. Yeah, let me say that again. Being aggressive in the show of aggression is not strength. A real man who's truly strong don't have to show nobody or prove nobody that he's strong. They're going to see the strength in him without him having to do all of that. And so the level of aggression and the level of anger and resentment that a lot of these brothers carried is what turned me off from that group and made me ultimately make the decision to not join, is because I didn't want to become one of those bitter, angry dudes who attack people because I feel justified in doing so because of a alleged genealogy that I probably have that I'm not really sure of. And I'm not going to go on and to change my life upon if I don't have ironclad for sure certain evidence for that. And you know, the evidence has always been debated and it's always going to be debatable because of the amount of just oversaturation of evidence, good and bad, misleading and misguiding evidence. That's the whole way that it confuses everybody because there's so much out there about it that people will latch on to whatever fits their ideology and they'll just run with it. And so you have all of these different concepts and all of these different ideas on stuff. And I'm like, man, you don't know nothing. You don't know anything more than the next person. So please just stop with all of that. Just say that you have a strong belief, you have a strong hunch or something, but you don't know nothing. And so I stand back. I still respect my brothers for what they do. I respect my brothers for what their goal is and their intent is. But I don't agree. And it's okay to not agree and still have respect for somebody. That's what people don't understand. Just because I don't agree with you does not mean that I don't like you. That does not mean that I don't respect you. That don't mean that I do not love you. That means that I just do not see eye to eye with you on this particular thing. And that's quite all right. But yeah, I definitely wanted to let my brothers know, man, y'all need to calm it down. And it's not all Hebrew Israelites, but the ones who are within those groups, they know who we're talking about. And I'm out here in Texas where this incident took place. Not real close, but I'm a few cities away from where it took place. And I'm just saying, man, there's so many different compounds out here, and there's so many different little militia groups that are forming up in these last days and times. You look at groups like Proud Boys or the Oath Keepers, and you have the Hebrew Israelites, you have the not effing around crew, and you have the Muslims. You have so many. I say their religions, and then you have the extremists from these groups who break off and make their own little militia groups based off of those narratives within their belief systems. So you have extremists on all sides. And so I'm just naming a lot of these different groups. I'm not calling them terrorist groups or nothing like that. I'm just saying that they're militias. Mm, Not malicious, militias, small groups of organized and trained fighting people, you know, just to clarify. And so, yeah, man, my Hebrew Israelite brothers, really and truly, man, let's get out of this identity and label thing. This whole and I think that Yahweh knew that whenever he verse, because he knew we was gonna get caught up in all of this stuff, genealogy and your lineage and your bloodline, and you see how many people have committed incest and just some of the nastiest things and created mutations within their family trying to keep their bloodline pure and all of that crap. They fed into all of that mess despite the word that was given to them about it. And so you see the end result, all of these mutated children and things like that, because people wanted to keep their bloodline pure. So they sleeping with their first cousin, sleeping with their sister, sleeping with their mama, all of that mess right there. Yeah, that's where that came from. That's exactly where that came from. Let's not get it twisted. We know. And so yeah, I'll just say, man, stay away from that bloodline and genealogy crap because that's just another label that keeps division. Not only does it keep division amongst the people, it also keeps us under a curse. Man. So anytime you're gonna try to exalt your group up over everybody else, that's pride, man. And warning becomes before a fall every single time. But so does pride. Warning comes before the fall, but pride comes before that warning because that's the reason for the warning in the first place. So I'll just leave it at that, man. This is your boy D Mac. Y'all know what I say. Sticks and stones can break your bones, but the word can always heal you. I'm out.